Welcome back. I'm Craig. I'm your host for CLIC Connect. And today we have another industry leader, somebody who's here for the first time, Mr. Yannis Moati. He's the CEO of Hotels by Day. I think you're going to find this conversation fascinating. So without any further ado, other than I got to do one thing, I'd like to thank our production partner, Red Roof Franchising. Red Roof has been with us from the beginning. And please call Matt Hostetler and his team over there. They'd be really thankful and grateful that you called. They've got their extended stay, their soft brand, and of course their economy hotels as well that they're world known for. So give Matt a call. Let him know the producer Danny and I sent you, and they'd love to hear from you. So without any further ado, Mr. Yannis Moati, Hotels by Day. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Craig. And thank you very much for the invitation. I'm delighted to be here.
Oh, after our first conversation, and actually during our first conversation, I got to have you on the show. I love the idea of what you're doing. I think some people are going to think it's a little bit disruptive, but sometimes that's a good thing. And one of the reasons I could relate to what you were doing is I was with a management company and we had a hotel in Los Angeles that we would open up the pool facilities to the surrounding neighborhood for a fee. They could come in and it was like, you could buy lunch, 2-drink minimum, that type of thing, whether it was soft drink or, a beer or something like that. Yeah. And it was a great source of income. So do me a favor. Would you tell the audience about yourself and Hotels by Day, please?
Sure. I'm the CEO of Hotels by Day. I have, previous to this, 15 years background as a travel agent and a tour operator. And after identifying an issue of a lack of flexibility in hospitality, where we'd like to think that we're as hospitable as we can be, as we claim to be, I thought that something was lacking with the fact that my customers were not able to check in with as much flexibility and or check out as well as they wished. And so after a long process of research and identifying how we possibly could find a solution, I decided to launch Hotels by Day back in 2015 with a very small team, a team of 3 at that time. We're now a team of 33. And the idea behind Hotels by Day is to be able to provide flexibility in hotel experiences. And by that is that we're focusing on day stay, day passes, daytime experiences, or daycation. And it could be rooms for a few hours during the days for people to be able to shower, change, red eye refresh, work in privacy, meet in privacy. And or the idea of using a pool or a pool pass, rather, a spa or a workspace as well. That's another option that we sell. So we optimize the assets of the hotel on Hotels by Day by being a marketplace that brings customers that would be interested for a daytime experiences and optimizing the revenue of the hotel on the other end.
I love it. So how are you maximizing these underutilized inventory assets, for the hotelier?
Well, we take advantage of the fact that a hotel is not necessarily all the time fully occupied. And by that, I mean reaching the 90 and plus. And there's always slack, not always, but there's often slack in terms of rooms unsold the night before. Mm-hmm. In addition to that, especially in main cities, most urban spots like New York, LA, Miami, etc., guests will check out early. Some night guests will check out early, and some other night guests will check in late. So all in all, between what's unsold the night before and rooms checking out or guests checking out by, say, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., you could have about 45% of your room keys that are left unsold between, say, 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. And that's where Hotels by Day comes in as either a room operator for somebody to be, like I said before, be able to shower, change, work in privacy, meet in privacy, red eye refresh, napping, whatever that is. And or if the hotel has a full line of amenities to sell to the consumer, we would then sell day pass tickets, as in pool passes, cabanas, spa, parking even. That's another component that we optimize and that we sell at the hotel.
Nice.
Yeah, we like to think so too.
In urban locations, airport locations, I'm loving that idea. Now, this is also going to create some operational efficiencies and guest satisfactions that you need to deal with. How is that handled by you guys?
Okay, well, that's a very good point. And I have to tell you the truth that post-COVID, guest satisfaction has been actually harder to achieve than pre-COVID.
Yeah.
It's been very tough. The industry, I'm preaching to the choir here, and everybody knows that the staff shortages mixed with the new protocols of cleanliness that we have to follow, mixed with the fact that there's been revenge travel, which was absolutely chaotic for almost 2 years, has been actually creating this boiler point in which it's very tough to operate. It's tough to operate with the regular business of night stays. And so with day stays, of course, it has brought in this layer of extra, I wouldn't say difficultness, but it's slightly trickier to be able to operate both models.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the worst is past, where the dust has settled on staffing, the dust has settled on revenge travel. The rooms are now being run much smoother than before in terms of turning them. So now we're seeing actually for the last year a gradual amount of hotels coming back online and wanting to play the game, if I may say so, in optimizing their assets as best as they could, understanding fully well. So, COVID has been, I'd like to compare it as a candy with the wrapping that has been very difficult on both ends. The wrapping has been toxic on both ends, but the candy is there. And the reason I say this is because the start of it has been absolutely chaotic, and the end of it has been really terrible as well. But the middle has been actually very educational for hoteliers and for the world to see how it is. We came into a new paradigm of having to optimize assets in ways that we never were seeing before COVID, or we never fully realized it before COVID. And the guest as well nowadays is much more aware of the possibility of flexibility post-COVID than it was before.
I agree with you, and I think I firmly believe that you should optimize every square inch of a hotel or a resort. Okay, but there's ways and there's ways. Now, the urban destination charge, now a resort fee for a legitimate resort, I agree with. Okay, because you've got 2.5 to 3.5 associates to every one guest, and there's expectations there that you have to exceed. But $15 for a bottle of water in the room is a bit much. Okay, yeah, those are the things that drive me crazy. But I think also out of this unique market that started with COVID, revenge travel, ended, starting to stabilize and get back to a new normal, I'm going to say. I think part of that, we've got a new category that I love to call bleisure. It's that hybrid between leisure travel and business travel. Take your girlfriend, your wife, your boyfriend, whatever the case may be, on a 3-day trip and extend a couple of days. How is that impacting you? Is that also part of your business that's coming in to help out the hoteliers?
You mean the F&B part of it?
The F&B, the maybe they're going to stay, another day, or they grab the day pass for their leisure part of the trip. Is that part of your demand, your guest demand?
So the bleisure part, not necessarily, besides the fact that it brings in this extra component of having categories that now kind of mix up with each other, right?
Yeah.
And so everything kind of nowadays, the post-COVID is different than the pre-COVID. And by the way, I'd like to apologize for any background music. The neighbor has decided just now to have some C-mill construction, like a lot of hammering, a lot of cutting. So I apologize for this.
No worries.
So I hope it's not too disruptive to the background sound. But
good.
Anyway, this is to say that that things are not in silos anymore. The way we work is not as clearly defined as it used to be. The way that we live our lives is not as clean cut 9 to 5 as it used to be. We extend in our time, in our schedules. On both ends, we work sooner, or we get busier sooner than before, and we extend our day much later than before as well. And so we all are spending some, very, I wouldn't say exhaustive, but very intense lives. And so Hotels by Day is part of this zeitgeist in which, we're here to actually change models. We're part of the way that people consume things differently. And so we consume hotel stays differently in that sense. And so the zeitgeist is that with us, you might need a break during the day. As I mentioned, we work more hours than ever before, from home or from the office or from both. And so the location in which we used to work has changed. The traveling that we used to do has changed now in terms of leisure instead of being leisure or business. And the way we experience a hotel as well has changed, in which now consumers increasingly expect everything to be done according to their own terms at their own time bands, right? And so the model of the clean cut model that used to run for millennia of like, you can check in before 3, you must leave by 11 the next day, is absolutely outdated today. And so Hotels by Day is this new software, this new tool, this new marketplace for hoteliers to help them transition into a new horizon, to be able to provide flexibility with protocols, with timelines, with a guided consumer, so that both ends, the hotel and the consumer, is having a great experience for something that did not exist 10 years before, right? So here we are.
Nice. Now, this is going to be a competitive edge for the people that you're working with, the various hoteliers, resorts, urban hotels, boutiques. How do you give them that competitive edge? How are your services giving them more market penetration than what they had before?
That's a very good question. Thank you, Craig. Well, consider this. The industry has lost a lot of traffic from the Airbnbs and alternative lodging of this world, right? And the reason for this is because the industry was too much of a cookie cutter in the past in terms of the experience that you had, not just with the time band, but also with the bedding, the rooms, the decor, the this, the that. And so the consumer wanted a different experience. Well, it turns out, 15 to 20 years later, I can't believe it has been that long already, but Airbnb is also becoming a cookie cutter at this point. I don't know about you, but you go to an Airbnb or another one, it's the same standard type of furniture. You're not in somebody else's home. You're in somebody else's commercial real estate, right? They've never lived there. You can see it, you can feel it. And so what Hotels by Day is doing is essentially capturing the consumer that we lost to other spaces by giving him another way of consuming hotel stays, and by reintroducing the hotel to him or her, And here's a perfect example. 62% of our consumers, of our guests, live within 25 miles of where they booked.
Wow.
Okay. So basically, you're capturing a consumer that would have never booked with, or rarely booked with you for night stays, because they only live 20 miles away, right? So what's the point? But for day stay, you're capturing a consumer that, for one, did not know about you, or forgot about you, or forgot about the chain, and is having a wonderful experience for 3, 4, 6 hours on average, let's say. And it's thinking about hotels again. So we're not just a model to be able to add top line revenue by creating an extra $120 plus tax for a 6-hour average time bands. Not just that, but we're also a great marketing engine to be able to capture a guest that would have not thought about a hotel at that time, that does not have another option of flexibility or pool pass on an alternative lodging, must be at a hotel in terms of that experiences the hotel. And then guess what? It's the front desk would capture the email address, the name of the guest, the phone number of the guest, and then it's the hotel's job to be able to market to that consumer, either as a brand in terms of, hey, you could stay with us where you've stayed before in Atlanta, but if you travel to Paris one day, you could also stay at one of our hotels there. So basically, long story short, we're also a great marketing tool to be able to recapture guests into the hotel ecosystem. So yes, we're very pleased with that observation that we're seeing from our partners. Yeah,
I love that, because I've always said that when a hotel's hitting on all 8 cylinders, especially on the boutique side, they're celebrating the community that they're in. Okay. They've got a look, they've got a feel. I live in a beach community. I've got a small house, and I've shared this story 1,000 times. It's the holidays. Brother's single, stays at the house. Sister has a husband and 3 kids. I don't have the infrastructure for everybody. Sister, brother-in-law, and kids all stay at the hotel. We have most of our meals there. That's usually the meeting spot as well. And I like having that hotel close by for those reasons. It could be, a birthday, an aunt, an uncle, everybody's coming into town, and like, okay, here, let's get a room block, get everybody dialed in over there. I just think that's just the smartest thing to do. And hotels are the first to help out, whether it's a national disaster or local disaster, fire, flood, earthquake, whatever it may be. We take in the firefighters when they need to get off the line and get some rest. We take people that have been displaced from their homes. So I like all that.
And to that, I'd like to take a minute to thank our colleagues that were in the path of the latest hurricane here, and to thank them for all the hard work that they've been going through. Yeah,
absolutely, and the first responders, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine that lives. He and his family are in the Tampa area, and he sent me some pictures, and it looked like they had about 3 feet of water in their house. So it's terrible.
Yeah. My thoughts to them.
Dynamic pricing and yield management. That's going to be something that's on the hotel's mind right off the bat, because they're looking to see, okay, how much of this dollar am I actually going to capture? So could you tell us how that works with you and the hotels, please?
Sure. If you don't mind, I'll use an extra minute to give a little bit of background to how Hotels by Day started, and that will lead to your question.
Perfect.
So, when we launched this, we had a very narrow view. I mean, I was a travel agent that had an increasing amount of consumers and guests that wanted flexibility. They were traveling to London, arriving at 7 a.m., and they wanted to check in as soon as possible. And I remember having to send emails, calls, having refusals, looking for a different place to stay and all that stuff. And I was like, there must be a better way. And then I found out it wasn't a question of inventory. It was a question of protocol, setting the proper protocols and setting the proper technology. And when we launched in February 2015, so we're going to get into our 10th year very soon, in about 6 months or so, 5. When we launched with 9 hotels near airports. We had Chicago, we had so O'Hare, JFK, and Miami Airport. We started with 9 hotels there. And increasingly, when the word got passed around of, friend hoteliers telling their friends to also on board with us and all that, we realized that we had demand not just by airports for somebody to, refresh after a red eye or take a nap or get ready for a presentation, whatever that is, and get ready for their day. Not just that, but it was also consumers in city centers that were interested in also in our services for the same reason and more. And we slowly, by the growth of the company, we realized that we had demand in airports, in city center, at resorts for the pool passes. And again, I do recall a family sending an email thanking us for the day pass at the resort when they actually booked an Airbnb not too far away. And so the family used to enjoy the day at the resort through Hotels by Day and then going back lodging into the Airbnb. So that was also an eye opener. But all of that was under static rates because there was no plug-in into the CRSs, the PMSs, all the ecosystem of technology of a hotel management, occupancy management systems to be able to plug in and to be able to move with the rates, the night rates, and yield better, and also source from direct occupancy. But thankfully, and again, COVID made that change because hoteliers realized that they needed to push their boundaries and the horizon of how they operate. And so now we were the leaders in connecting, the pioneers in connecting our inventory into this switch, which I'm going to get a little bit technical here, but Derbysoft is one of the main switch in our industry, connecting different operators and being able to supply and push and pull inventory into different systems. So we were able to create this model of passing on day use inventory and basically availability rates and inventory, ARI, passing on to them and sourcing from them. And so now we have chains that moved into this field and that are increasingly opening their software for us to be able to yield, as you mentioned, to go back to your question, as best as possible for that inventory tier of day rooms. So we're very happy of this progress. For 7 years, it was only a static game. And for the last 2, it has been a mix of both. Whenever the hotel can plug in, we will let them in. If they cannot, we will work on static. Now, one last point about static. It sounds like a big taboo and a hotelier might be really scared of static. And I understand for night stay, you don't want to change every day your rates on a manual basis. But for a day stay, remember this, your rooms from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., no more than 5% of your room keys could be optimized for day rooms, right? And so it's a fairly static game to be in the day room business in which you set a certain amount in allotment at a certain rate for a certain time band. And guess what? 3/4 of the year, you don't have to change the rates. Usually Q1 in Northeast or Q1 in Miami is where the most changes need to be made. But that's just 3 months out of the year. The rest, the rates stay static and everybody's happy. So we now run both with the caveat the static is not that difficult to manage.
Love it. I'm one who tries to operate under the KISS philosophy. Just keep it simple. Okay.
All the time.
And this falls right into that category. It's not going to be a lot of brain damage. It's not going to be a lot of manpower. I'm liking this a lot.
Now, I love KISS for both work and personal.
There you go. Absolutely. So a couple of things before we get into our lightning round. Sustainability. Okay. That seems to be on everybody's mind. It seems to be a program with certainly all the brands, but a lot of the independent boutique hoteliers as well. Not sure it's really arrived yet because we're still talking about it way too much. And efficiency. So how does sustainability and efficiencies fall into your program?
That's a good question. And look, I'm going to stretch it a little bit. Let's be clear, let's be candid, let's be honest.
Yeah.
We're not going to make the hotel any greener than it ever was or wants to be. That's not our model. However, our model is there to optimize an asset that has, if we're talking about just ecology and just, if what's the word?
No.
Green, standards wise.
Right.
I mean, it has not only cost a lot to build, but it has also been a huge resource, footprint to build as well. The concrete, the furniture, the this, the that, right? So you'd like to, for all that investment and all that, energy that needed to produce this property, we are optimizing it to its potential, right? To its utmost potential. That's one thing. So you have to consider that, we're making the most out of it, out of what we have. And so in that sense, we're, part of that efficiency boost. But also, there's an argument to be said about flying less nowadays.
Yeah.
And flight shaming is real, especially with the younger generation. And so when you cannot, or you do not want to travel to Venice and spend 10 days to then come back and all the carbon footprint that involves, you could take multiple vacations just 10 miles away from where you live, take the subway, take the train, be as efficient ecologically speaking as you can, and you would enjoy a great setting at a resort that is on Hotels by Day, to be able to just enjoy the day, rest, come back, and be more efficient for the rest of your week, right? And so we promote the idea of daycationing instead of vacationing. And in that sense, it's good for the earth.
Love it. And it's a great selling point as well, that you are maximizing, the use of everything.
Correct.
And I like the efficiencies with your modeling. Okay, my friend, you ready for our 2-minute lightning round?
Always.
All right. Producer Danny's going to put 2 minutes on the clock, starting now.
Okay.
Favorite sport?
None.
Corvette?
I don't play any sport. But if you call chess a sport, some might argue that it is, then that's the one. But physical one, I mean, I love running, don't get me wrong. But collective sport, I'm not a big fan of anything.
Not a problem. Corvette or Porsche?
Well, depends which year and depends which model. I love them both.
All right. Good answer. Movie or concert?
Movie. At the end of the day, a good movie is unbeatable.
There you go. How about favorite band, group, duo, or solo artist?
Oh boy, it changes a lot. I'm a little bit, empty-headed right now. But look, I love reggae. I love soul. I love a lot of African beats. So
nice.
Yes, let me just give you very quickly an African beat that I love to listen to. But the name escapes me because I'm under pressure. But
Don't
worry. Fela Kuti.
There you go.
Yeah, Fela Kuti. There you go. Yeah,
social media.
Look, I've removed myself from pretty much everything but LinkedIn, just to keep it real for the business. But I hate them all, and I've been out of it since 2016. And even LinkedIn gives me the goosebumps. But I'm there to promote the business, so this.
There you go.
I'm sacrificing for the health of the company.
Aisle or window?
Window, even though they say that actually that's a very bad choice because it's full of germs, it's never cleaned properly, and you always lie your head on it. But window, I love to do it. Whatever germs, I don't care.
Streaming or cable?
Streaming.
Hotel lobby?
Or what?
Whatever you
Or
think about a
anything.
hotel lobby.
Hotel lobby, when I think about hotel lobby, I think about lots of bright lights, beautiful decor, and people work with their laptop in a modern environment, in a quick pace, with a good environment to be in. That's the ideal hotel lobby that I have in my mind.
Best restaurant in your city?
So I love Tonchin in New York City. It's a Japanese soup udon place. I love it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Favorite vacation location?
Where I am right now, you're catching me on the mountaintop of the state of Veracruz in Mexico. And I love it because it's a coffee center of Mexico. And you walk a rustic little town called Coatepec. And there's coffee smells from mom and pop roasting companies and roasting shops. And so it smells like coffee from like 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's an ideal place to be.
There you go, my friend. Unfortunately, you did that in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. So,
oh shoot! I thought it was 2 minutes per question, Craig.
No, total 2 minutes.
Okay.
But it's okay. Hey, what one thing do you want the hotel community to know about Hotels by Day?
Something that I mentioned before, that we've created the protocols, the technology. We are a team that is here to support their effort to make the most of what they have, the most of their physical assets, the most of their teams, the most of their experiences, the most of their marketing. We are here as a tool to help them create more resources and more revenues, which at the end of the day is best to their hotel as opposed to their comp set that might not sign up with us.
Love it. Now, do you have just one website or two websites? One for the industry, one for the public?
So we have yes, sir. We have a front end to the guest. We have a portal to our hotel community. We have apps, of course, and that would be for the guest mostly. But yes, we have a portal that then feeds ARI and content to the guests.
Okay, great. My friend, we are out of time. So how about a shameless plug and you give the world the website that you want them to go visit?
Hotelsbyday.com, and we're
Nice.
here for you. We've been here for 9 years and we're going on for another 90.
Nice. I love it. Yannis, did you want to give him an email or anything to contact you, or is LinkedIn the best way?
Look, front desk at Hotels by Day. We're very hotel oriented, and so front desk at Hotels by Day answers question 24/7. By the way,
Nice.
So we're here for our audience.
Love it. My friend, thank you. You've got an open invitation to come back anytime. You've got an update or anything you want to share, just give me a call and we'll get you on the show right away. Okay.
We're actually opening Latin America. So once it's open in full, I'll knock at your door.
Perfect. And get me the press release that's going out too, and we'll push that out for you as well.
Yes, sir.
Take care, Yannis.
Thank you, Craig. It was a pleasure. Thank you, my friend.
You.
And thank you to your audience. Thank you for listening.
What a great show. Okay. Hotels by Day. Get a hold of Yannis. Check out his website. We all need to add to our bottom line. We've got a lot of increases in day-to-day operation, insurance, interest on loans, everything else you can think of. So this is a good way to add to your bottom line. Give Yannis a call if you would, please. Also, again, I want to thank our great friends and our production partner from the beginning, Red Roof Franchising. Give Matt Hostetler a call. He'd love to hear from you. You know, they've got a soft brand. They've got their extended stay. They've also got their economy brands that they're world famous for. Give Matt a call. Let him know the producer, Danny, and I sent you. They'd love to talk to you about coming on board with them. Also, coming on March 5th and 6th, 2025, the 8th Annual California Lodging Investment Conference. We've moved. We're going to be in Long Beach. So join us there. Registration will be open by the time you see this, so you can register at cliconference.com. Join us. We've got some great panels. If you're in the California hotel market or want to be, this is the event to attend. We do a welcome reception with our hotel development deals of the year for California assets on the 5th, and then the main event is on the 6th. And we've also got our Lifetime Achievement Award that we will be handing out prior to our final mixer and after party after the conference. So again, join us on March 5th and 6th at the Westin in Long Beach, California. You can actually fly into Long Beach too if you want to. So join us. It's going to be a great event. And we are going to take a little time off, but by the time this is out there for everybody, it'll be post-lodging conference, and we'll be back. So if you're going to be at the lodging conference, come see me. We're going to be doing some interviews there. I'm also going to be running around doing a few other things as well. So remember to be kind, share your knowledge, go be amazing.